G'day guys, and today Shorty and I are going to do AFL Q&A episode 5. We're accumulating a few episodes, which is always promising.
Yeah, ticking over, which is good.
No, keep them happening, guys. All you got to do is ask a question, footy related, whether it be AFL, Supercoach, anything along the footy lines. We'll answer it.
Yeah.
Or at least try to.
That's what it's about.
That's all we
Kick
do.
us off, mate.
Beautiful. Daft Muse, long time fan here. Should Melbourne trade Jack Watts while he still has currency? I reckon they should, because he'll be becoming a free agent pretty shortly, I think, over the next couple of years. So I can't even think of a team that would want him, though, to be honest. I mean, he may suit Carlton, for instance. Anyone could get to Carlton, I think, if they really wanted to. But I certainly think he needs to go. Like, he's had his time. He's had 7, 8 years to mature himself, and he just has not been able to prove himself. So I don't think his instincts are there to be a great player as well. So
yeah, I agree. I think if they don't choose to trade him, I think he'll just leave.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he needs a new setting, and there will be takers, I reckon. You'd be surprised, I think. It's funny how when the trade table comes around, people look at what they can do, not what they can't do, I guess.
No, it's spot on. No, yeah, you'd know it better than me because you love drafts. So
yeah, I do.
Yeah, that's enough on Jack Watts. Go from that.
Am I going for this one, or are you going?
Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah.
Dog?
I'm going for it because I've got a highlight. You can chip in for a bit as well.
Yeah. Well.
Do you think Richmond should sack Damien Hardwick? If they do, who should be the new coach?
Well, it's a timely question, isn't it? Do you want to have yours say first?
Yeah, I guess so. Possibly. Yeah, it's a tough one.
Sid's right on the fence.
No, we just watched the Tigers have a good win, but
I know.
It's pretty easy to knee jerk there. But I think in the bigger picture, yes, they should, because he's been there for 5 years now, possibly.
Yeah.
It's the same old story every year, and the list has barely changed. When they've been sort of contending in the top 8, they didn't do much at all over the trade period. They've just thought the list was good enough, and I certainly don't think it is good enough. And it's very average, but it's got a lot of upside, and that's the thing you don't want to say. There's lots of upside.
Yeah, that's right. I think they'll wait, of course, to the end of the year.
I don't know about the new coach. Any names? I mean, it could be anyone. Could be Kevin Sheedy. Who knows?
At this time of the year, it's pretty tough to think of coaches for next year. But no, you're right, mate. You just never know. We watched them play really well today.
Yeah, they were
okay. It could be a start to a run of games. All of a sudden, Hardwick's looking good. But if it's just a once in a how many games that they perform well, then I think he comes under that category of coaches who need to sort of perform to keep their spot.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah,
the heat will be on him. But
definitely, that's enough on Dimmer.
Oh, who we got here? Jack Watson. Our buddy Watto. Watto's gotten on the question. There's a random one from Watson as well. Rank your top 10 captains in the league, please.
Please.
He couldn't have gone with top 5. He just had to go top 10. But thanks for the question, Watto. Hopefully the Lions I think they're up at the moment, so hopefully they get up for you. But I must say I came with a pretty confident top sort of 5.
Yep.
But then the rest, it's almost
airy-fairy.
Yeah, well, most captains are pretty damn good, of course, but I sort of went for judging them on the captain ability. Of course, most of them are pretty damn good players, as I just said.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
That's sort of when your team needs them through adversity, they lift, sort of thing. So, my number 1, I've gone with Luke Hodge. He is an absolute jet. Yeah, I just think, he sort of got the captaincy after he was the spiritual leader and Mitchell had the official captaincy, and he just does those things that make you want to follow him. So, as does my next man, Joel Selwood. Yeah, we've seen time and time again that he just leads by example, just drags the team along, which I think is a mark of a good captain.
Reminds me of group projects, mate. Bit of an off-topic one there, but go for it.
Number 3, Joe Watson. Does similar to the first two, but also the way he's handled himself through the big drug saga and all the Asada stuff. So much pressure, and he still plays well week in, week out.
Yeah, he's been
generally
fantastic.
when they've had a big week and a lot of heat is on them, he is always one of their best. It started with the Crows in that round 1, and it's happened many times since. Number 4, I went Nick Rewalt. An interesting one. I mean, these aren't necessarily purely for this year, Watson, so I've sort of gone for a couple of the last couple of years, I suppose. But yeah, there were times last year where he just dragged the side over the line as well. The Bombers comes to mind. He hasn't really got in the park too well today, this year I should say. But he's a great leader, and he's stuck it through with, of course, Goddard leading, Delcino leaving.
Yeah,
he's hung around and he's doing a good job of it. Pendlebury at 5. Again, similar tone to the rest. Stands up when required. So that was my clear top 5, mate.
Silky smooth, Pendlebury.
Yeah, he's very silky smooth. And number 6, the Pav. It's always good to throw a key forward in there as well.
Yeah, he's a good bloke.
He's been so good for so many years and has that real leader credentials that, he's just always led the team for, I don't know how long it's been, but he's done it for a long time.
He's been great.
And Gazza Ablett I put number 7. Sort of, he's copped a bit of heat lately about, does he have that leadership quality? Well, I think he does. I think they're a bit harsh on him. He's a different sort of leader. I put him in the top 10 because could anyone have led better by example than he did? Sort of coming to that club from scratch, best on ground, like almost every week for them. So, yes, maybe at the moment he's copping a bit of heat, but I think he's a very good captain. Number 8 was Nathan Jones. Similar vein. He was probably the only one who could hold his head up high for the Demons' terrible couple of years there.
Yeah.
I think he won back-to-back BNFs and not as good a season so far this year, mate, but
no, because I had him in my Supercoach draft.
And number 9, I've gone Robert Murphy. This one's more of a tone, of course, this year because it's his first year of captain. But the Dogs have seemingly gone beautifully as soon as he stepped in. That's more reasons than just him. But apparently all the word is that he's moulded beautifully to it. He's lifted his game on the field and he approaches the young group well, the old group well. Sounds like a real good player manager.
Yeah, he looks like the kind of guy that just get the job done and be a good bloke to be around and lead the club.
Number 10, mate, this isn't just for you, Watson, but I've gone Tommy Rockcliffe. I looked through all the captains and, guys like Boak sort of stood out as well as a chance and even Tex Walker with what he's done this season. But I've gone Rockcliffe. Brisbane is struggling at times and last year he was fantastic. I think he'll be a great leader in the future as well. So,
yeah, definitely.
That rounds out my top 10. Thanks for the question, Watto. Keep them coming, mate. It's taken you a while, I must say. Let's be honest. You tell me every day at work you watch our videos every day, but took you 5 episodes to ask a question. That's all right. So.
Better late than never. It's good to have a question, though.
And I'll move to the next one. The footy collector here.
Yeah, go for it.
The fastest runner. I've gone Paddy Dangerfield.
Yeah, a few couple of players put their hand up.
Yeah, he reeled off, I think, 3 in a row on the sprint for the AFL Grand Final.
Yeah.
I think Murdoch won it last year.
Yeah, he did.
So he's right up there. And, of course, Lewis Jetta comes to mind too. But, Dangerfield's such a powerful runner. And, sort of Murdoch and Jetta are sort of your silky smooth, just burst speed player. But Dangerfield's like a powerhouse with speed. So, I've gone Dangerfield.
Good combination. Yeah, I've gone Jordan Murdoch. Simply won the Grand Final sprint last year, and we know he's pretty quick.
Yeah.
And as Shorty said, Jetta's up there pretty quick. I feel like someone ran him down. It might have been Brodie Smith, actually.
Yes, he did.
He chased down Jetta. So Smith's pretty quick when he gets on the run. So
when he's not concussed.
When he's not concussed or injured or something. But no, he's good.
Yeah. Next up, Macca 40. Has he asked a question before?
I reckon he has, yeah.
No, it's good to keep him coming anyway, mate. I wasn't sure, but predict your top 8 for the end of the year. That is a tough one.
With a nice smiley face.
Yeah, nice little smiley face.
What a good bloke.
He's
happy about it.
Yeah, he is. Do you want to weigh into this a little bit too, or we read them out? Or do you just want me to have a crack?
I think we'll just possibly name them and then probably give a short summary on it.
Yeah, for sure. Even though we're so far in, it's tough to go, isn't it?
It's incredibly tough to predict the top 8 at any time of the year.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of consolidated halfway through the season, around 14, 15, sort of you know what's going on.
Yeah.
I've gone with Port Adelaide, Hawthorn, Fremantle, Sydney, West Coast, North Melbourne, Adelaide and Geelong. I actually think I did this last night, and GWS are doing nicely. Port Adelaide at this point in time aren't and don't look like finishing on top of the ladder at this point in time. A few things have changed. Mitch Duncan's gone out for the Cats for a long period of time. That will really impinge on our chance to get in top 8. I think it will really hurt us, I guess the Giants are a chance to make it to the top 8 as well. That may answer another question, but I think the top 4, minus Port Adelaide, I guess, Hawthorn, Fremantle, Sydney, they're pretty well consolidated, as some of the best teams in the competition. North Melbourne, Adelaide, I guess you want to include us, Geelong, we're okay teams. So we're not going to be up towards the top, but we're better than the teams below us at the moment.
Yeah, I agree.
You go for it.
The top 4, I still think Port Adelaide will bounce back, I reckon.
Yeah, it'll be tough, yeah.
But look, I've gone Fremantle in fine form, top of the ladder. Hawthorn, Sydney, Port Adelaide around that top 4. Got North Melbourne in 5. I've gone Adelaide for 6, which I'm not fully sold on, but I think they'll make the 8. These last 3 spots I really struggled with. Of course, Adelaide. I had the Giants in 7, and I had us rounding out the Cats, rounding out the 8. But I also had West Coast to think about. Dogs.
Yeah, the Doggies are a chance.
Those are sort of the couple I tried to round it down. So, yeah, as Ty said, I think the top 4 to 5 clubs are going to stay roughly the same. I reckon,
exactly.
Barring anything really dropping off. But it's just that middle portion of 6 to 12 almost. You can just throw a blanket over them. It's really tough. And that'll come down. At this point in time, that's what we reckon. But that'll come down to other things that we don't know yet, I suppose. Like Injuries, and Duncan is a valid point. I nearly dropped us out, but I just hung on mainly because I'm not fully convinced on West Coast or the Western Bulldogs yet. But
yeah, exactly.
It's a tough gig, always predicting the 8, because you're never going to get it spot on.
Nah.
But you can give yourself a good enough guide, and I think those 8 sides will certainly make up a pretty good mix of the top.
Yeah, I put West Coast highly in there because I think they're probably at a point where they've got a really easy draw because they didn't finish that well last year, and they're going against the odds. Once Eric McKenzie was out, and I think maybe Mitch Brown or someone, I think I said, well, their season's over because they haven't got a full back. And
their backline was depleted. They lost Glass last year as well, and Waters is retired.
Yeah, Waters retired, McKenzie going out, Brown out with a knee injury for the whole season. So they've responded really well, and they nearly had Kennedy out for the year. That would have been a major blow. I don't know what the hell happened there. Bit of a rumour going on, but well, that rounds out roughly what I think the top 8 could be, but it certainly won't be the same.
Yeah, so thanks for the question, mate. And we got ASVP _AA.
Yeah, he's a familiar customer.
Yeah, he loves it. And we got a couple of questions here. Who do you think is the most courageous AFL player of all time? Secondly, who do you think is Geelong's most exciting young player? We'll start with the courageous one.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting one. And you know, most questions you really might have 5 or so names that immediately come to mind. But I had to think about this, and Jonathan Brown came first to mind. Yeah, Jonathan Brown for me. I think how many times he backed into the pack, and it's cost him at times, multiple times. So
and his career.
Yeah, not to mention the things he does on the field, that not just throwing yourself into packs, but other things. You know, just willing himself to get to contests. And courage can be shown up in different ways. And of a more modern view, Joel Selwood at the moment, I just think he does so many courageous things. He does go back with the fly a little bit, but more so just the way he continually goes in, time after time after time, and I just love Joel Selwood as well.
Yeah, you had to sneak in Joel.
He's a courageous man. I mean, he may as well line up with a bandage wrapped around his head. He always ends up with one, so he's a courageous man.
Yeah, certainly.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, it was sort of a tough one. I threw a few names down, so I had Leo Barry in there, I had Wayne Carey in there, even though I never saw him play, but everyone talked about how courageous he was.
Yeah.
Even had Maxi Rook in there. But the one that stood out to me that I nearly forgot about was Beau Waters.
Oh, yeah.
His career, well, pretty much all but gone, unfortunately, due to persistent injuries. And I just loved the way he always went back with the fly of the footy. And he's probably one of the toughest players I've seen play the game too, along with probably Max Rook as well.
Yeah.
Like, he's just such a tough competitor. I mean, it's as simple as that. I remember in 2006 he injured Buddy Franklin, I think. I think it was a tackle he made and it broken his ribs. He was out for 6 weeks, so
he was a tough man.
Yeah, it was a huge tackle. So yeah, you could probably hit him with a hammer and he'd still be fine. So that's
he'd break the hammer. Let's be honest.
He'd break the hammer. That's right. So he's fantastic.
Good mate.
But Geelong's most exciting young player. It's a tough one considering form changes and whatnot. But Corey Gregson at the moment, you sort of can't go past, and you probably will agree with him on this. But yeah. He had a reasonably average first couple of rounds, but burst onto the scene against the Pies and did a nice job kicking 3 goals. But Yeah, his pace is exciting. He's good with the footy in hand, and I love what he does. So
Yeah.
I think Corey Gregson at the moment is our most exciting young player.
Yeah, nice. I mean, he's definitely our most exciting sort of first year player. I've looked at a slightly different angle. I agree with you, but
Well, I'm going to disagree.
I've just gone for a couple of guys who are, they're still young, but sort of coming through and starting to establish themselves. So that's, get excited about that. I think these guys will play a lot of footy for the Cats in Jackson Thurlow and Mark Blitzavs. It's always a tough one to throw out, Blitzavs. Yeah, they're just exciting players. I think Thurlow will be outstanding across the half-back line for 10 years. He's a beautiful ball user, reads it well. He's a nice height. He's a fantastic player.
He's solid.
And much to get excited about. And the Blitz as well. He can play anywhere, but this move into the midfield, bit of tagging, bit of third man up, bit of ruck work with Stanley. It's dynamic stuff.
Unpredictable.
Yeah.
It's good.
I was a critic of his last year of, does he actually have a spot individually?
Yeah, I do remember
one
that.
spot that actually is his. Well, he's made it his own now, and I think he's a very exciting player.
Awesome.
Hence, I selected him.
No, good mate. I couldn't disagree with those either because they're both playing well this year. So, that's certainly
good stuff, mate. Well,
certainly there.
This is the last one. I'll read out for a couple, but from Cap Carter 1, GWS top 8. He said a game, but I think he means season.
Yeah, this year I reckon.
This year, and I think they will, as you probably heard about 4 minutes ago.
Yeah,
I had them in the 8.
The preview.
Yeah, if you've seen many of these videos, you know that I rave on about the GWS in midfield. They just roll off the tongue how many good players roll through there.
Like saying Ward, Griffin and Shield and
Treloar and Devon Smith and Scully's in there and Whitfield, Caniglio.
Caniglio,
yeah, and even so, someone's probably left out as a Jet.
So
it's impressive. But on top of that, they have a pretty solid defence. Heath Shaw is back there, and the tall forwards as well.
Joel Paffel helps out too. He's good.
Yeah, to get excited about, and Cameron and McCarthy, and of course Patton. He won't have a bearing on this year, but for future reference is exciting. So, what did I have him at? I think I've had 7th. So. Yeah, I had them there and abouts. I think they're 5 and 2 at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, 5 and 2.
It's a good start. Yeah,
and they won't have a hard draw.
No, they won't. They'll have a bottom 6 categorised draw. So
and they're performing a lot better than the bottom 6 sides, and they're betting sides that have just won flag. So that's a pretty good effort. And my quick 2 cents on it. I've probably been a downer on them, but I think they're a good chance. More so at this time making this video than they were maybe in the last video, but I feel like we've had a lot of questions about GWS and they're making the 8. It's a common question we get, so
bit of excitement about the Giants. People
just want to know, are they going to make it?
Yeah, well I think they will.
Yeah, well, I think they're a good chance. We've got Aussie Video Maker. This is a couple of interesting questions. Name your favourite team, order 1st to 18th. I took about a couple of minutes to get this one, but I'll list them out. I'm not going to say why, but maybe I might just give an overall summary. Geelong, Collingwood, Port Adelaide, Fremantle, Adelaide, North Melbourne, Richmond, Essendon, GWS, West Coast, Melbourne, Gold Coast, Brisbane, Western Bulldogs, Carlton, St Kilda, Sydney, Hawthorn. Can give you a reason.
The Hawks sitting on the ball. He hates them.
Yeah, and Freo's an interesting one because I love them, but I love to hate them as well. So they're very lucky not to be sitting 3rd last. So.
Yeah.
But I've been enjoying them this year, getting the job done. But my mum used to barrack for Collingwood. That was sort of what got me into the Pies, and I started following footy around 2006, and Pies and the Cats were doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Well, Geelong weren't in 06, but
there and abouts.
Yeah. Port Adelaide play exciting footy. Fremantle to get the job done. Sydney and Hawthorn. One of my first games I remember watching was Sydney beating us in the 2005 semi-final, so absolutely hated them ever since. Hawthorn, well, you can talk about the 2008 grand final, you can talk about how they've demolished our magnificent era that's making it not look as good as it could be. It's a very tough one, but that's a rough guide. Shorty won't go through it because he wouldn't be able to do it. So
nah, it'd take too long, but I think I'd back for the Cats, and whoever we play on the weekend I hate, so...
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, it doesn't matter who we're playing, we just don't want the opposition to win.
Yeah, but for my 2 cents as well, I don't really care about ranking the sides, to be honest, but as far as teams I don't like, I can't stand the Hawks, can't stand Collingwood, and I hate Carlton, so... They're my three little sides that I thoroughly dislike.
Why do you hate Carlton?
No, I just don't like them. There's no real reason.
No real reason, just
I
don't like them.
I don't like their fans. I don't like Mick Malthouse at the moment. I don't know. There's just something about them.
Fair enough. I'll take that.
We got another one too from
Aussie. Yeah,
Aussie here.
Go for it.
Yeah, name the best player from each team. So another list one.
Yeah, just list it.
We'll both do this one, won't we? So
we will. Yep.
Do you want to go team by team?
Yeah, sure. Sounds good.
Yeah, I'll be interested.
Be good head to head.
I haven't looked at your list at all, so I reckon we might have a few similar, but there'll be a couple of differences here. But and I can feel one come up pretty soon. Paddy Dangerfield for the Crows.
Rory Sloane for the Crows.
I knew we'd go different there. I nearly went Hanley for the Lions, but I've gone Rockcliffe.
Tom Rockcliffe.
Yeah, nice. Thought for a while for Carlton, but I went with Murphy.
Chris Judd.
Yeah, Chris. Stuck with Chris.
For this season anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a tough question. Does it mean this year? Does it mean over their career? I don't know, but...
Probably of late, I guess. That's
of late, yeah, exactly.
Collingwood, Pendlebury, surely.
Scott Pendlebury,
yeah, nice. The Bombers.
I reckon we got the same here.
Joe Watson.
Oh, I've gone with Brendan Goddard.
Oh, you went with Goddard?
Yeah, that was a tough one. Watson did come to mind, though.
I also considered Heppel as well, strongly.
Yeah, Heppel's really good, too.
Yeah. We'll have the same one here, surely.
Will we? Let's find out.
Yeah, Cam Sutcliffe.
Hey, they've been talking him up, mate.
Yeah, I know. Nat Fife.
Yeah, I'm going with Nat Fife. I swear I saw Padley somewhere.
He was in my captain one.
Okay, yeah. I was just like, what? Yeah, we're going to have the same one here.
Joel Selwood.
Yeah, Joel Selwood.
Yeah, of course. And here.
Yeah, it's going to be the same.
Gazza.
Gary Ablett, yep.
Yeah. The Giants. Dylan Shield.
Yeah, I got with Dylan Shield as well.
But also got Callum Ward's been fantastic.
Yeah, I reckon.
The journey.
I was nearly going to say Jeremy Cameron, but probably not. I'll probably just seduced by his form of late.
Yeah.
We might have the same here.
Oh, the Hawks?
Yep.
That's a tough one. I went with Luke Hodge, but I also felt from an MVP style of looking at Jared Ruffhead was right up there.
Yeah, we're going with Hodgie as well. Sam Mitchell.
Yeah.
Special shout out to him.
Yeah, definitely.
You can shout out half their team. That's how good they are.
And the D's was tricky. This one's definitely on this year because they're not having too many winners, but I've gone Tommy McDonald.
I have him here, mate. I listed Tom McDonald and then I listed Nathan Jones, so tie between those two.
Yeah. Well, McDonald would have to be the All-Australian fullback at the moment. He's flying, isn't he?
Yeah, unbelievably good. I reckon we'll have the same here.
I've gone the big ruckman for North Melbourne.
Yeah, I've gone with Goldie.
Yeah.
Old Todd.
Yeah, nice. Will we have the same one here, though?
I don't know, mate. You'll just be a pest and go to the
I
worst
know you've gone Robbie Gray.
Yeah.
So have I.
That's good.
He's a damaging player.
I was waiting for you to say Trevor Spoke.
It took me a while to convince me, but he performs every week, so he does a lot.
Spoke just only plays good against good teams.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a bad thing, though.
For the Tigers, I went Dustin Martin, actually.
It's an interesting one.
With also an MVP style look as far as rants and marriage. I think it showed last year when they didn't have them that they were a real struggle street. So
they were. Brett Deledio, I'm going with.
Yeah.
I think he's been so good over the time.
Yeah.
We're not giving reasons, but we're just listing.
Yeah, we'd be here a long time if we went in depth for every club.
Yeah.
But for the Saints, mate, who have you got now?
Nick Rewalt.
Oh yeah, I've gone Jack Stephen.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's a tough fight. We both probably interpret the question differently.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
That's fine.
Swannies,
who have you gone with?
I went with Josh Kennedy, and special shout out to Buddy Franklin.
Special shout out to your mate.
Yeah.
Kicked 4 goals on us. Luke Parker.
Oh, yeah.
He won the best in Paris last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And killed us on the weekend.
And killed us, of course. 5 goals. Never kicked 5 goals ever.
Not bitter.
Yeah, West Coast.
Matty Pritis.
Yeah, Pritis.
Does it every
Brownlow
day.
medalist. I reckon we'll have the same for the Dogs too.
Well, I think their best player actually isn't playing at the moment. That's Tom Liberatore. But I went Luke Dalhouse, actually.
Dalhouse, yeah. I've gone with Bontempelli.
Yeah, I did really think about the Bont, but I'd just like to see a little more body of work from the Bont.
Yeah, he hasn't performed for as long as we would have liked.
Yeah,
he's got a few years to go.
2 out of his last 3 weeks have been okay, but yeah, Dalhouse.
He's probably their most exciting player. So
yeah,
at the very least,
certainly.
The last one, very tough one from Mazzy Carts. You can chip in at any point, mate. AL. Are you able to rank in order best to worst, Buckley, Hurd and Voss? No, I can't.
It's a massively tough question.
I have listed them anyway, but whether it's accurate or not. I've gone with Vossi first, Hurd, then Buckley. It's so tough, and I've looked at the stats. They've all won a Brownlow medal, and none of them have played 300 games. Okay. And they've all been injury ravaged too. So they've got a few commonalities there. Buckley on stats, I was having a look through, and he seemed to get more of the pill. I don't think he kicked as many goals, or he might have. Yeah.
Early on, he kicked a lot of goals from long range, but
yeah, and I think his tackles were up and all that kind of stuff. But there's much more to the game than stats, mate. And I think Voss and Hurd offered what stats can't show, which is leadership and determination and the ability to get the team across the line. Not saying Buckley hasn't over all these years, but Vossi, Lee Matthews speaks so highly of him, and he rates him as one of the best players he's ever coached. So I think Lee Matthews' word is as good as anyone's.
Yeah.
And I didn't see much of Michael Voss, actually, because I only started watching in 2006, and pretty much once I started watching, these guys were retiring. So
yeah.
And they all started around the same time. I think Vossi started in 92, Hurdy started, I think, in 92, and Buckley in 93. And he retired at 35 years of age, which is quite surprising. He started at 20, close to 21, so that was interesting. Yeah, very, very tough. I think James Hurd, he played 253 games, which is the least out of the lot, surprisingly. And yeah, I think Vossi played 289 and Buckley played 284 along those lines. So
nice.
It's such a tough one, and
it is, isn't it?
They've all been in Brownlows, they've been drawn Brownlows as well. So
and they've all turned into coaches.
There you go.
Of their respective clubs.
Maybe that's why he asked this question.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? But
yeah, have you got anything to contribute there, mate?
Yeah, it's funny. We didn't even discuss it beforehand, but I would have ordered them the exact same way. I would have gone Voss, Hurd, Buckley.
Yeah, and I can't even split them anyway.
Yeah, it's very, very hard to split because it's just marginal stuff. But I didn't really, me and you both didn't see all their careers, nor maybe their peaks. Like, we weren't watching footy as closely as we do now. Certainly saw them play, but how closely we were watching in the younger days, you interpret things differently. But
yeah, exactly.
One thing with Voss, I know people say, is his attack on the footy was as brutal and raging bull-like as anyone.
Yeah.
He was getting that pill.
That's what I've heard and seen.
Whether you were there or a brick wall was there. So apparently they say you could hear him. He made some noise as he was going for the ball. That's what I've heard.
Dang.
It was pretty intense, but such was the concentration and the effort to go for the footy. He was just an absolute bull, but all fantastic players within their own right, of course. Sort of your last decade's champions of champions, aren't they? So
yeah, well, that's sad.
Yeah,
because at the start for me was the end for them. So
yeah. No, but good question, a good range of questions from all of them, some different ones. Because after 5 episodes, it's good to be getting some different people and some different sort of ranging questions. Is good too.
Yeah, well, the more different people, the better. To be honest, that's how we get a good indication that you guys love it. And even this one's the same. That gets an indication that they love it. So.
Oh yeah, definitely some regulars, which is good.
Beautiful. Well, yeah, that's it for Q&A. Plenty of questions this week.
Yeah.
It's been pretty good, and plenty of thinking, that's for sure.
Yeah,
and some really tough ones as well. So
they're the best questions though when you look at it and you got to think about it, best player in the comp. Immediately you think a couple, but there's some good questions here that you go, oh gee, I'm gonna have to get my laptop here or have a bit of a think here.
Yeah, get the research going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, well that's all for us on Q&A episode 5. Feel free to ask more questions, as we keep saying. The more questions you ask, the more episodes that keep coming out. So, it's all dependent on you guys. Thanks for sticking around, guys. Don't forget to like the video and share it around to all your mates. They might have some questions as well, and hopefully they can comment them in, and we can read them out to them and answer them.
Yeah, that's what we do.
That's all we do. All right, thanks for sticking around, guys, and we'll catch us all next time.